This year's proposal also marks the first time in Governor Shapiro's term that projected revenues will not meet projected costs. Fox 43's Matt Kleinitz joins us to outline how the governor plans to pay for his budget plan.
Well, Evan, the Shapiro administration is projecting to use $1.6 billion from the rainy day fund to help balance that proposed $51 billion budget plan. On top of that, Governor Shapiro is looking at adding 2 new streams of revenue by taxing skill games and legalizing recreational marijuana. Groups who would be directly impacted by the budget say they have mixed reactions to the current proposal. What's old is new in the Pennsylvania state budget as Governor Shapiro looks for ways to pay for his record-setting spending bill. During his budget address, the governor reintroduced the idea of taxing skill games and legalizing recreational marijuana for adult use to bring in more revenue.
People are interested in buying cannabis, right? So how do we capture that revenue and keep it here? We have to legalize it.
Meredith Buettner with the Pennsylvania Cannabis Coalition believes legalizing marijuana will help fund critical resources and create new jobs. Under Governor Shapiro's plan, wholesale cannabis would be taxed at 20% and bring in roughly $536 million in revenue this year.
We estimate that by legalizing cannabis here in the Commonwealth, we can create an additional 20,000 jobs.
The budget also calls for a 52% tax on 30,000 Pennsylvania skill game machines at bars and gas stations.
The devil's always in the details. Don't know what it's going to be until it becomes law.
James DeLisio with the York County Tavern Association says he favors regulating skill games, but wants a lower tax rate to help local businesses who rely on the machines.
Somewhere in the 16 to 20% would be reasonable. That would still leave quite a bit of the pie left to be dispersed amongst the people that it's supposed to help.
Nathan Benefield with the conservative-leaning Commonwealth Foundation worries that the revenues from skill games and marijuana won't meet expectations, putting more pressure on taxpayers.
He's depending on a lot of money and probably very rosy projections on how much he's going to get from taxing marijuana, how much he's going to get from taxing gambling.
During their budget response, Republicans called on Governor Shapiro to provide his plan to get both items through the State House and Senate.
If he wants something done, he needs to lead on it. He can't throw an idea out there, which he did last year, and say, let the legislature figure it out, I'll sign it.
Now, once again, the biggest obstacle for Governor Shapiro's budget will be the divided state legislature. Keep in mind, Democrats hold just a 1-seat majority in the House, while Republicans have a 28 to 22 seat majority in the Senate. Evan?
So, Matt, it appears the budget has a steep mountain to climb. Have any Senate Republicans expressed any support for the legalization of recreational marijuana?
Well, during last year's budget negotiations, Senator Dan Laughlin from Erie County was the only Republican to sign onto a bill that would have fully legalized marijuana in Pennsylvania.
Well, the negotiations will be underway. It has to be in place by July 1st. All right, Matt Kleinitz joining us this afternoon. Thanks, Matt.